everyone, and welcome to a new session again, a new revision session of WB set. So from now onwards, as you have seen, we will do revision sessions of various sets every alternative day. And today we will do a new revision session of WB set. If you are new to our channel, please do subscribe and hit the bell icon for all the notifications of our videos. On that note, let's get started with our session today. All right, I will start sharing my screen. Yes, I believe the screen is visible to you all. So welcome again to Vallath WB set revision session 1. The exam will be held in December. So you all have lots of time now to revise regularly and learn more. So don't worry at all, everything will be all right. Let's move on to our first question for the session tonight. Which of the following cannot be called a Bildungsroman? Charles Dickens' David Copperfield, Henry Fielding's Tom Jones, James Joyce's A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man, or Daniel Defoe's Robinson Crusoe. So as you all know, a Bildungsroman is a subgenre of the novel in which we see the development of the speaker or the protagonist. It's a coming of age novel where we see a progress story of the protagonist or the speaker or our hero from his or her childhood to youth or adulthood, right? So here, Dickens's David Copperfield, then Fielding's Tom Jones, Joyce's A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. All these are classic examples of Bildungsroman where we see our heroes or the protagonists growing up and developing, right? But Daniel Defoe's Robinson Crusoe is not a typical Bildungsroman. Here also we see our hero Robinson Crusoe going on various adventures, and he talks about his various exploits, how he goes and stays in an island for many years and colonizes it. But it is not a typical Bildungsroman. It is more of an adventure story, right? Okay, so that's for our first question. Let's move on to our next question. Which of the following is not a book by Stephen Greenblatt? Will in the World, Hamlet in Purgatory, Beginnings, or Marvelous Possessions? As you all know, Stephen Greenblatt is a major theoretician of new historicism. He has written many works, but here tell me which work is not by Stephen Greenblatt. Obviously, it is Beginnings. He has written these works: Will in the World, Hamlet in Purgatory, Marvelous Possessions, but Beginnings is not a work by Stephen Greenblatt. Stephen Greenblatt comes in almost every exam, every time. So please be careful about the works he has written and also the chronology. These days, chronology is extremely important. So please be very careful about the chronology of these important works. Then again, which is the most important work by Stephen Greenblatt? It was Renaissance self-fashioning from Moore to Shakespeare, right? Renaissance self-fashioning from Moore to Shakespeare, right? Have you all liked the session? Please do like this session and share this with your friends widely, because I hope these sessions will help not only the aspirants of WB set, but also other students out there who are preparing for various set exams or many competitive exams. Okay. Next. Which of the following is originally composed as a graphic novel? So which among this is actually a graphic novel? Susan Sontag's The Volcano Lover, Marjane Satrapi's Persepolis, E.L. Doctorow's Ragtime, or Ishmael Reed's Flight to Canada? So which among this is a graphic novel? Very easy question. We all have read about this novel. Yes. Obviously, it is Marjane Satrapi's Persepolis. Again, we will try to bring a session on graphic narratives Previously, in our current update session, we have already done a session on this, but we will try to talk about more graphic narratives, seeing the rising importance this subgenre is getting these days. Okay. So Persepolis is a series of autobiographical graphic novels by Marjane Satrapi that depict her childhood and early adult years in Iran and Austria during and after the Islamic Revolution. Okay, this is a very important example of graphic novel. Next. Poet, lover, bird watcher. This is a poem by whom? A.K. Ramanujan, Nissim Ezekiel, Shiv K. Kumar, or R. Parthasarathi. Again, a very famous poem by an Indian poet. Poet, lover, bird watcher. Yes, it's a poem by Nissim Ezekiel. And here the poem juxtaposes the patience required for bird watching and wooing women with the hasty nature of modern life. Right? So it's a very beautiful poem by Ezekiel. Please do try to read as many poems as you can to understand the nature of the writings of these poets. Right? Okay. Next. Who among the following coined the term historiographic metafiction? Foucault, Linda Hutcheon, Stephen Greenblatt, or Angela Carter? Again, a very easy question. Tell me, who coined this term? Also, what does this term mean? Yes, are you all liking the session? Okay. Yes, obviously the answer is Linda Hutcheon. Okay, so Canadian literary theorist Linda Hutcheon coined the term historiographic metafiction in her 1988 book, A Poetics of Postmodernism. Okay, and what does this term mean? So historiographic metafiction is a type of metafiction that describes novels that are self-reflexive and claim to be about real people and events. So, to put it very simply, historiographic metafiction is a subgenre of fiction where elements of history, metafictionality come together. It is self-reflexive. That is, this type of novels lay bare their fictionality, their fictional strategies and devices. Okay? To understand this, John Fowles, the French lieutenant's woman, that's a very popular example of historiographic metafiction. Okay, next. So before we proceed, all of you have already attended online our orientation for CUET PG program. So yes, we are starting our CUET PG English program for 2025. We are starting this course from 19th September of 2024. And now, if you enroll for this course, you will be able to get this course at just rupees 5,000. So if you haven't enrolled for this course yet, you can do so from our official website, vallath.in. Okay? Yes. France an Ode was written by whom? Shelley, Keats, Wordsworth, Coleridge. Who wrote France an Ode? Very easy question. This question came this time in net as well. Yes, France an Ode was written by Coleridge. And it was written by Coleridge in April 1798. This poem describes his development from supporting the French Revolution to his feelings of betrayal when they invaded Switzerland. Like other poems by Coleridge, It connects his political views with his religious thoughts. The Gothic elements of the poem connect the poem's style to many of his early poetic works. Again, please be very careful about who wrote which work and chronology, the socio-political and historical contexts. All these are very important. Okay. Next. Silas Marner. Very easy question. Who wrote this novel, Silas Marner or The Weaver of Ravelot? Charlotte Bronte, Elizabeth Gaskell, George Eliot, Margaret Oliphant. Very, very easy question. But these questions come very often in WB set. So we should learn both easy and tough questions. Tell me, who wrote Silas Marner or The Weaver of Ravelot? Yes, obviously it is by George Eliot. Okay. So Silas Marner, The Weaver of Ravelot is the third novel by the English novelist George Eliot. It was published in 1861. Be very careful about the chronology. Okay. So this novel was published in 1861. And outwardly a simple tale of a linen weaver, the novel is notable for its strong realism. Right? George Eliot, she propounded realism in her works, or she used or employed realism in her works. And its sophisticated treatment of a variety of issues ranging from religion to industrialization to community. George Eliot was one of the most foremost women novelists of the Victorian era, and she was one of the most popular writers who employed realism in her novels. Okay. Next. The term cultural materialism was used by Raymond Williams in which work? Culture and Society, Marxism and Literature, The Long Revolution, or The Country and the City? Again, I'm telling you, please be very careful about the chronology of these works of literary theory. Because as you all have seen this time, lots and lots of questions will come in the form of chronology, especially net. So those of you who are preparing for December net, start revising these years from now itself, because the more you delay revising the years, the more difficult it will appear. So from now onwards, start revising all the years slowly. So later you won't face any grave difficulty in terms of the years, especially. So yes, the term cultural materialism was used by Raymond Williams in Marxism and Literature. Okay, but all of these works here are very important. Culture and Society, The Long Revolution, The Country and the City, especially, you should know what these works deal with. Okay, so that during exams, you can cancel the wrong options. And you will be able to do that only when you know what these works actually talk about, what are they dealing with, if they're propounding any specific concepts, right? Okay, let me open the chat for some time and let's see what you all are saying. I hope all of you have liked this session. Yes. Let's see what you all are saying. Okay. Yes, all of you are answering correctly. No, the long revolution is not the answer. The answer is Marxism and Literature. Okay. The Mirror and the Lamp, Romantic Theory and Cultural Tradition is a work by whom? C.M. Baura, M.H. Abrams, F.L. Lucas, or none of the above? Who wrote The Mirror and the Lamp? A very important work of Romanticism. Remember, it's a very important work of Romanticism. Yes, it's by M.H. Abrams. The Mirror and the Lamp, Romantic Theory and Cultural Tradition. It's a work of Romantic criticism by M.H. Abrams. Okay. Which work was written by C.M. Baura? C.M. Baura wrote The Romantic Imagination. C.M. Baura wrote The Romantic Imagination. Again, a very important work of Romantic criticism. Okay, next. Who among the following talked about readerly and writerly texts? A very important concept of literary theory. So who was it who talked about this? Claude Lévi-Strauss, Roland Barthes, Derrida, or Stanley Fish? I know that you all know about this concept of readerly and writerly texts. Yes. This concept was discussed by Roland Barthes. Readerly text means texts which are close-ended. Readerly texts don't demand much efforts from the readers, right? They're complete in themselves. But the writerly texts are those which are open-ended, which leave gaps in between for the readers to complete them. Writerly texts demand complete attention and creative efforts from the readers to complete them. Okay, so that's the basic difference between readerly and writerly texts. And this distinction was discussed by Roland Barthes. Again, the critical and literary theoretical texts of Roland Barthes are very important, like Mythologies, Chimera Lucida, right? So please do look up his texts in the perfect chronological order. Okay. Next question. Distinction, a social critique of the, okay, here the answer is given, but okay. Distinction, a social critique of the judgment of taste by Dash is a sociological report about the state of French culture based upon the author's empirical research from 1963 until 1968. Yes. Distinction, it's a very important work by the cultural theorist Pierre Bourdieu. Pierre Bourdieu, okay? So distinction, a social critique of the judgment of taste. It's a very important work by Pierre Bourdieu, and this work is in the form of a sociological report about the state of what? About the state of French culture, based upon the author's empirical research from 1963 until 1968. Clear? Pierre Bourdieu, again, is a very important cultural theorist who talked about very important terms like habitus. Remember? Okay. Biographia Literaria by Coleridge was published in which year? 1818, 1817, 1800, or 1819? Yes. Biographia Literaria is one of the foremost works of criticism by Coleridge. Here, he put forward his theory of imagination. He talked about primary imagination, secondary imagination, right? And he hailed secondary imagination as an esemplastic power, right? He hailed secondary imagination as an esemplastic power, and it was published in 1817. 1817. Okay. So that's all for tonight. And before I leave you all, we are starting our CVT PG course from this 19th September. If you haven't enrolled for this course yet, you can do so from our official website, vallath.in. And the special prize, the special discounted price is available right now if you get enrolled. That is 5,000. So if you just enroll for this course now, you can avail this course at just rupees 5,000 from our official website. So that's all for tonight. I really hope you guys enjoyed the discussion and the questions. If you did, then please like the session and share this with your friends. I will see you again tomorrow at 9 with a new session of revision of Karnataka set. All right, till then, take care. Bye. Good night.